Continues Rav Chaim Ovadia in his Sefer Chazon Ovadia. Rosh Chodesh Tevet shechal biyom hachol shel Chanuka. If Rosh Chodesh Tevet falls out on the days of Chanuka, but not on Shabbat, on the regular weekday. This year, 2025, we're going to have 2 days Rosh Chodesh, Shabbat and Sunday. That means Rosh Chodesh is going to begin Friday night, and it's going to come out Sunday night. So comes Rav Chaim Ovadia and he says like this: if Rosh Chodesh falls out, Rosh Chodesh of Tevet, because right now we are in the month of Kislev, after Kislev comes Tevet. If the new month of Tevet is going to fall out on a weekday of Chanukah, Motzi'im Shnei Sifrei Torah, you're going to take out 2 Sefer Torah. So in this year, on Sunday, we're going to have to take out 2 Sefer Torah. Like we saw in the previous class, we started discussing about all the people that have to go up and what has to be recited during the 8 days of Chanukah. That means on Chanukah, we're going to say Hallel with a blessing, and also we're going to have to take out every single day from all the 8 days of Chanukah a Sefer Torah. But comes Rav Chaim Ovadia and he says, if one of those days is a weekday and that day is Rosh Chodesh, now you need to take out 2 Torah, 2 Sifrei Torah. One is going to be for Rosh Chodesh. From one of them we're going to read for Rosh Chodesh, and from one of them we're going to read for Chanukah. V'kor'im b'Sefer Torah Rishon, we're going to read in the first Sefer Torah. Shelosha, we're going to allow 3 people to go up, Kohen, Levi, and Israel. B'Shel Rosh Chodesh, we're going to use the Sefer Torah of the Rosh Chodesh. U'b'Sefer Torah Sheni, and in the second Sefer Torah, Koreh ha'oleh ha'revi'i b'Shel Chanukah. The 4th person that's going to go up, he's going to read in the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah. Shetadir ve'enu tadir, tadir kodem. Because when you have something which is frequent and something which is not frequent, frequent always comes first. So Rosh Chodesh is more frequent than Chanukah. That's why we're first going to read in the Rosh Chodesh Sefer Torah. When the 3 people finish going up, then we're going to read in the Chanukah Sefer Torah by allowing 1 person to go up. Altogether, we're going to have 4 people going up that day. If the Chazan made a mistake and he read all the 4 people that have to go up and he put all of them on the Sefer Torah of the Rosh Chodesh, and you already took out 2 Sefer Torah, you need to recite for the 5th person that's going to go up, so now we have to add an additional person. We have to get another guy and we have to tell him you have to recite in the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah. Because we do not want it to be a blemish for the Sefer Torah. We do not want it to be a dishonor for the Sefer Torah. Why? Because when people are going to see it, that we took out the Sefer Torah, but we didn't read it, that in a way we are somehow blemishing the Sefer Torah. We might be saying that there's a mistake in it. So that's where comes Rav Chaim Ovadia and he says, look, when Rosh Chodesh falls out during the weekday of Chanukah, you're taking out 2 Sefer Torah. For the first Sefer Torah, you have 3 people going up, Kohen, Levi, Israel. For the second Sefer Torah, you have the 4th person go up for the Sefer Torah of Chanukah. Now, what happens if the Baal Koreh, the Chazan made a mistake and he put all 4 people in the Parsha of Rosh Chodesh, in the Sefer Torah of Rosh Chodesh? You can't just ignore the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah. If now that we took it out and now we're just going to bring it in, people think there's a problem with the Sefer Torah. So it's dishonorable to it. We're blemishing it. So what do we tell you to do? Get me another guy. Bring me another person. Let him read the 5th. He's going to be the 5th person that's going up. And let him read it in the Sefer of Torah of the Chanukah in order not to chas v'shalom blemish the Torah. And that's what Rav Chaim Ovadia tells us over here. V'im ta'ah ha'chazan v'kara arba'a olim b'shal Rosh Chodesh. If the Chazan made a mistake and he read all the 4 people that go up in the Rosh Chodesh Sefer Torah, v'kvar hotziu shnei Sifrei Torah, and they already took out 2 Sifrei Torah, Tzarich likro la'oleh chamishi shikra b'shal Chanukah. You need to go out and you have to read for the fifth person that's going to go up, that they should read in the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah one, kedei shelo yeh pagam leSefer Torah, in order for there not to be a blemish for the Sefer Torah, bir'otam, because when the people are going to see it, shehutziu, that they took it out, v'lo karubo, and they didn't read it. If that's what we're going to do, the people are going to say, wow, there might be a problem in the Sefer Torah. Now we just blemish the Sefer Torah. In order for that not to happen, we say, bring me the fifth person, let the fifth person go up, let him recite from the Sefer Torah. This way we did not blemish the Sefer Torah. Im ta'ah Chazan, if the Chazan made a mistake, v'itchil likro b'Sefer Torah shel Chanukah. Rabotai, what happens? You have two Sefrei Torah in front of you, one of Rosh Chodesh and one of Chanukah. Now we know halachically, we just saw today, Tadir v'she'enu Tadir, Tadir kodem. Rosh Chodesh has to go first. Comes Chacham Ovadia and he says, what happens if the Chazan made a mistake and he started reading in the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah one? What is going to be the halacha? Yesh omrim shetzarich lafsik. Some rabbis want to learn, you need to stop the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah, v'likro b'shal Rosh Chodesh, and you need to start reciting it in the Rosh Chodesh Sefer Torah. V'yesh omrim she'en tzarich lafsik, and some learn you don't have to stop. Ela yigmor kriyat Chanukah im ha'oleh. Rather finish reading in the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah with all the people that went up. Ve'achar kach yalu shelosha olim leSefer Torah shel Rosh Chodesh v'chen inkar. And afterwards, Rabotai, allow the other three people to go up to the Sefer Torah of Rosh Chodesh, and that is how we hold Rabotai. We're going to hold like the second opinion. So Rabotai, let's make this clear. If the Baal Koreh, instead of beginning reading from the Sefer Torah of Rosh Chodesh, he began reading from the Sefer Torah of Chanukah, some opinion learns you have to stop. And you have to start reading in the Rosh Chodesh Sefer Torah. Another opinion says, and this is how we're going to hold like in halacha. Some opinion says, no, don't stop. Rather, finish reading the whole Chanukah. Let's say it's day number 5. All right, let's do this. Watch this, Rabotai. Let's do this. Just very simple. Let me just take any day. Let me just get any day. Here, no, let's be on city. 1 second. Okay. Here, right? Biyom Arivi Nasi Libnei Ruven Iletzur Ben Shidur. Right? We're going to tell. Listen, let him go ahead and let him finish the whole portion of Chanukah for that day. Let him finish from Lamed. Let him go all the way up until, right? Biyom Chachamishi, meaning from Lamed to Lamed Hey. That's it. Let him finish the portion of the Chanukah. Once he finished the portion of the Chanukah, now we're going to tell the Chazan, that's it, with the Chanukah when you're finished, you did the one Aliyah, the one guy that has to go up, now go to Rosh Chodesh, and now recite for Rosh Chodesh all the other 3. That's what he's telling us over here. And someone will learn you don't have to stop. Rather finish the reading of the Chanukah in the Sefer Torah of the Chanukah with the person that went up. Finish the whole reading like I just showed you. And afterwards, afterwards, let the other 3 people that need to go up, let them go up for the Sefer Torah of the Rosh Chodesh, and that's going to be the halakha. So we see from over here, if a Chazan or a Baal Koreh made a mistake, and he began reading with Chanukah, we're going to tell him complete it, and let the other 3 finish it with the Rosh Chodesh Sefer Torah. We're not going to tell him to stop in the Chanukah and begin the Sefer Torah of Rosh Chodesh. That we're not going to do. Continues Rav Chaim Igal. Now he's going to discuss what happens if Rosh Chodesh is going to fall out on Shabbat. Before we mentioned if Rosh Chodesh falls out in the days of Chanukah on a regular weekday, which this year Rosh Chodesh is going to fall out on a Sunday. So over there we're going to take out 2 Sifrei Torah, like we just learned. However, Rabotai, what happens if Rosh Chodesh falls out on Shabbat? This year you're also going to have it on Shabbat, because it's a 2-day Rosh Chodesh, and like we explained earlier, Rosh Chodesh is going to be on Shabbat and on Sunday. So all the other days of Chanukah, we're going to take out 1 Sefer Torah. On Shabbat, we're going to take out 3 Sefer Torah, like we're going to learn the halakha. And on Sunday, we're going to take out 2 Sifrei Torah. So comes Rav Chaim Igal and he says like this. Rosh Chodesh Tevet Shechal B'Shabbat. If you have Rosh Chodesh Tevet, which is going to fall out on Shabbat, Motzi'im Shelosha Sifrei Torah. You need to take out 3 Sifrei Torah. Barishon Korim Parshat HaShavua. In the first Torah, we're going to read the Parsha of the week. Uminadin Olin Bo Shisha. According to the letter of the law, 6 people have to go up. Ubesheni, in the second Sefer Torah, which is going to be the Sefer Torah of Rosh Chodesh, Korim Beparshat Rosh Chodesh, we're going to recite in the Parsha of Rosh Chodesh. Umatchilin mina pasuk ubeyom HaShabbat, and we're going to begin from the pasuk ubeyom HaShabbat. Ve'haoleh omer kaddish. Now, after he's going to finish the one that went up, after he's going to conclude the Sefer Torah for Rosh Chodesh, he's going to go out and he's going to say kaddish. Why? Shebezeh nishlimu haolam, shebezeh nishlimu haolim. Continues Rav Chaim Igal, and he says, Rosh Chodesh Tevet Shechal B'Shabbat. If Rosh Chodesh Tevet falls out on Shabbat, Motzi'im Shelosha Sifrei Torah. You have to take out 3 Sefer Torah. Barishon Korim Parshat HaShavua. In the first Torah, we're going to read the Parsha of the week. Umin Hadin Olin Bo Shisha. According to the law, 6 people are going up for the first Torah. Ubesheni, and in the second Torah, which is going to be the Rosh Chodesh Torah, Korin be Parshat Rosh Chodesh. We're going to read in the Parsha of Rosh Chodesh. Umatchilin mina pasuk ubayom HaShabbat. We're going to begin from the words ubayom HaShabbat. Ve'haoleh omer kaddish. And the one that went up to the Sefer Torah of Rosh Chodesh, he's going to say kaddish. Why? Because shebezeh nishlimu haolim shehem chovat hayom. Because with this, we completed all the ones that have to go up for the obligation of the day. Meaning the obligation of the day. How many people have to go up on Shabbat? 7 people. On Rosh Chodesh, 4 people have to go up. On Yom Tov, 5 people have to go up to the Sefer Torah. On Shabbat, 7 people have to go up for the Torah. So comes Rav Chaim Igal and he says, since this 7th person, because remember, 6 people go to the first Torah. The 7th person goes for the Rosh Chodesh Sefer Torah. So since he's the 7th person, and that completes the obligation of the day, now he has to go out and he has to say Kaddish. So we're only going to be able to say Kaddish after the second Torah, which is the Rosh Chodesh Torah. The one who goes up, that's when he's going to say Kaddish. Now, what about Maftir? What about Haftarah? V'maftir koreh beparshat Nisi'im. Now, the one that goes after the 7th one is called the Maftir. He's going to now read in the Parsha of the Nisi'im, in Parshat Nasa. V'gam hu omer Kaddish. And so too, he also is going to say Kaddish. Umaftir, and the Haftar that he's going to do, Rani v'samchi bat Tzion. That's the Haftar. Rabotai, all this is printed in the Sidurim. V'im alav b'sefer. V'im alu b'sefer harishon. Shiva olim o yuter. What happens if you had 7 or more people, they went up on the first Torah, the one for the week, or yuter, or even more, ha'oleh ha'acharon b'sefer Torah harishon, omer gam ken Kaddish. The last person that went up for the first Sefer Torah, he also has to say Kaddish. V'nimtza is going to come out. She'omrim shelosha Kaddishim is going to come out, that you're going to recite 3 Kaddishim. Kaddish achar kol Sefer Torah. Kaddish after every Sefer Torah. V'chen ha'minhag, and so too that is going to be the custom. So let's make this clear. Rosh Chodesh Tevet, when it falls out on Shabbat of Chanuka, like it's going to happen this year, so on Sunday, which is Rosh Chodesh, you're going to take out 2 Sifrei Torah. On Shabbat, which is also Rosh Chodesh this year, you're going to take out 3 Sefer Torah. And all the other days of Chanukah, you're only going to take out 1 Sefer Torah. Comes out of your Rabotai, when Rosh Chodesh falls out on Shabbat, we're taking out 3 Sefer Torah. The first one is for the Parshat HaShavua. The first one is for Shabbat itself. The second Sefer Torah is for Rosh Chodesh. The third Sefer Torah is for Chanukah. Now, we want, for the Shabbat Sefer Torah, we want 6 people to go up. For the Rosh Chodesh Sefer Torah, we want 1 person to go up. That's the 7th guy. 6, 7. 6, 7, right? 6, 7. Yeah, I said this one time, Rabbi. I heard this beautiful pshat. What does it mean, 6, 7? right? This whole thing that people start saying 6, 7. So when Rabbi said something very nice, he said 6 plus 7 is 13, 613 mitzvot. Anyway, so you have 6 for the first parasha, 7 for the second parasha, meaning for the Rosh Chodesh. Then we have the parsha of the Chanuka for the Nisi'im, for Parshat Nasa. Over here you have Maftir. So you have 6, 7, and then the Maftir. Now, for Rosh Chodesh, the one who went up for the Rosh Chodesh, the 7th person, he says Kaddish after finishing the reading of Rosh Chodesh. Then the Maftir also says Kaddish after reading the Sefer Torah of Chanuka. However, Chacham they did say, what happens if they made a mistake? What happens if you had, he didn't say your mistake. He says, what happens if you had on the first Sefer Torah right over here, the Sefer Torah of the Shabbat, of the week, what happens if they had 7 or more went up? We're going to tell you, Rabotai, that even the last guy that went up over here, he's going to have to go ahead and he's going to have to recite Kaddish. And then the next person that's going to recite the parsha of the Rosh Chodesh also has to say Kaddish. And then the person who's going to go ahead and is going to recite the parsha of the Chanuka also has to go ahead and he has to say Kaddish. And he says that is the custom. If people go ahead and they allow all 7 people to go here, Rabotai, once you have 7 people, you are obligated in Kaddish. So it comes out that if you do it that way, for every single Torah, they're going to get their own Kaddish. But Chacham Ovadia said, Rabotai, according to the halacha, for the Parshat of the Shavuot, for the Sefer Torah of Shabbat, 6 people. For the Sefer Torah of Rosh Chodesh, 1 person, which is the 7th. For the Sefer Torah of Chanukah, you let the Maftir go up. When do you say the Kaddish? The Kaddish is going to be said after the finishing of Rosh Chodesh, and that's one time. And then also the Maftir is going to say the Kaddish after the finishing of Chanukah. Okay, Rabotai, with this we do conclude the halachot for Kriyat Torah be Chanukah. Have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen ve'amen.